Another brick fan here with a look at the Crocodile Locomotive. This is set 10277, was released in July 2020, has 1,271 pieces, 2 minifigures, and cost about $100 when it was released. This is definitely set up as a display model, so it's a static display. However, it can be motorized. Lego made 2 other crocodile-style locomotives. One was set 4551. It was back in 1991. It was a 9-volt train model. They also did another one, 10183, which is part of the factory theme. This set is based on the Swedish SSB CE 6-8, which we'll see on the data plate, which I'll show you here in a moment. These were originally built in 1919. And they were called the Crocodile because of the 2 noses. You have the same kind of set up here back and forth. And they were designed to climb some of the steeper mountains in the Switzerland and Germany areas. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the train. Here is the data plate, and you can see this was, again, the Switzerland CE 6-8 Model 2. It was an electric and diesel train. You can see the bars across the top there that are used to connect to or touch the electrical wires overhead. And this was in service from 1919 through 1986, so it had quite a long run. If we move along the train, you see the first nose here of the train. It's done in this nice reddish brown color, which I think turned out quite nicely. Even though this base here is brick built and uses these Technic rails instead of the actual train tracks, this will fit on a train track, so it's designed fit on the standard Lego train tracks. Some good detailing here with some sculpted pieces and little recesses here to give it more sculpting. I know there's been some people that have reviewed these and said that there's too big of a gap here between the trains here. I don't think it looks bad. I think it's fine, in my opinion. But there are alternate builds out there if you want to see what this may look like with less of a gap. Looking at the center section of the train, you see there are a couple of stickers here. This is the train number 10277. No coincidence that that is the set number for this train. That's pretty typical. You see some wiring here done with these whip pieces, and this, it looks like that's the coral color, which is that bright red type color. You see the arms here are designed to connect to touch overhead wires to power the train. These are done nicely with some binocular pieces and then some teeth in this silver color. Lots of green accents here along the top. The entire top comes off so you can get inside the train, which we'll look at here in just a moment. But let's move down the train some more. You see that this other end of the train is built the same way as the front we looked at. So another one of these nose pieces. Lots of different pieces used in here to create that shaping and different things. There's even some sausage pieces here in the front. Let's go ahead and take a closer look inside the main train here. Here's the main part of the locomotive, and if we take the top off here and look inside, you see there's the engine, or perhaps the big transformer that translates this power and the electricity into the mechanical energy that moves the train. This entire section pulls out. It's in there a little bit tight, but you can pull that out. Once we pull the center section out, you can see that it is designed with 2 drivers areas, or 2 engineers areas. Some gauges here on these 1x1 tiles. There's a lever here and a wheel. There's also some clips up here. You may have noticed that the minifigures came with some accessories. So there's a wrench done in this silver color and a toolbox, and those will clip right in here and can be stored inside here. And of course, you can put one of your engineers inside this compartment as well. Inside the train, you can see some gearing in here. So it is worked It is set up to have a motor put into this train. So you put the battery box on one side and then you put a large motor on the other side to make this a motorized train to run on the standard Lego track. The other side of the main body here is exactly the same. So you have some stickers down here and here in the middle and one on this door here to give it some additional detailing. And as I mentioned before, this whole center section just slides down into the train and just stays right inside there. And then this top just lays flat on top. If you look at the base here, you see there are a couple of spots here with some 1x4 bricks that make it so you just connect this train in place. So it sits static here on the display, and then the two noses are connected using Technic pins that have this ball joint on the end of them. This comes with both a man and a woman who are engineers for the train, so they are responsible for driving and maintaining the train along its journey. The legs and torsos are exactly the same on both of these figures. If we take his hat off, you can see that they both have good faces here. He's got some sideburns on the sides there. She has this black hairpiece, kind of in a severe bun or pulled back here. There is some decent printing here on the back. No alternate expression, obviously, for our male engineer, and no alternate on the female either. Pretty nice printing here in the front. Each has a scarf. They have pockets here and then some creases in their jackets. So it looks like it's probably a pant and jacket combo or a blue shirt with the matching blue pants for these figures. I think they turned out just fine and are certainly appropriate as railroad engineers. Let's go back and I'll give you my final thoughts on the set. Overall, a very nice looking train. I like the fact that it is set up as this display model. It's always good to get these data plates to tell you a little bit more about the model. Sets it up as definitely an 18+ type set. And I think it looks very good. The minifigures are more of the traditional or more of a throwback to the earlier city style train engineers as we talked about when we looked closer at the minifigures. I do like the way they built the display stand. I think the greebling and the use of the dark brown pieces there to represent the railroad ties makes for a good look with the gray underneath them for representing the gravel. So overall, a very nice display model, and I think if you wanted to run this train, you can by buying the battery box and a large motor. There is additional instructions in the instruction book that show you how to motorize this train. As far as the value goes, this is cheaper than most trains. They usually start around $150 all the way up to, I've seen them around $230 for some of the city trains that have been out there. And they certainly are a very popular Lego set. And they come out with 2 or 3 trains every 2 years or so. So I expect to see some new trains coming out fairly soon. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this Lego train. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel to see more of my content. I've left a link to some of my other videos up here on the screen.